Welcome to another great episode of the Ruthless Pro Wrestling Podcast. Thank you so much for supporting us here at RPW. I am your host. I am one-third of the commentary team here for RPW. My name is Peapod, and I'm very excited to welcome back one half that is making a second return to the podcast, but joining in our phenomenal first ever inaugural, whatever you want to call it. We recently just crowned our first ever RPW Tag-Team Champions at Boiling Point 2, which should be up at IWTV fairly soon. By the time this drops, I think it will be up and you can see all of the action. But these two gentlemen have been both individually and in tags and now together have been doing phenomenal things, not only in the RPW sphere, but across the Midwest. I have the returning Grimey, Zach Thomas, and the tag team champion with him, Mr. The Dread King Logan. This is Midwest Scum. Gentlemen, thank you so much for taking some time out and talking with me today.
Oh, thank you. Absolutely.
So I want to get into it a little bit because it's always fun to kind of, we'll start like kind of, the beginnings, because Zach has been on the podcast before. We talked a little bit about his history, so we'll jump in with Logan in just a moment. But the one night, a magical time in Maybe, Michigan at the Motorcycle Overseas Veterans Hall. Crazy time, snow on the ground, almost middle of the first major snow in the Midwest. But it was an incredible time, defeating three crazy tough teams. You did it all at once. Tell me a little bit about what was going through your head throughout all the matches, getting set up. This is your debut as Midwest Scum. Kind of give me a little bit of the inside scoop if you can.
If I could actually, before we get into that, I just want to say the kind people at that venue, what an amazing group of people that hosted that venue. Like all those bikers, all of them when we were in the locker room were the coolest people I've ever met. They all were just kicking it and loving it. And I just want to thank them because that's really important.
Man, well, I mean, to be honest, other than it being crazy blizzard outside, I love the venue. I like the atmosphere there. They were more than willing to let us do whatever we wanted to. So, I mean, that's the RPW way. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. It's a crazy find. And even like talking to the good people there, we were telling them, we're like, this is what we do. There's little things. And like, usually some people that are like, they put like their eyebrow up and everything. And this is going to be a crazy location for us for a lot of shows, both inside and out. I'm excited when it gets a little bit warmer to do some outside shows, because like the whole vibe outside is huge, and what we can do with it's going to be a lot of fun, even though it's like in the middle of nowhere, Michigan.
I'm going to tell you right now, going into that tag tournament though, and then it being like the weather it was almost fitting because it was like a really scummy, crappy night. Right. We ended up running through three tag teams and taking home the gold, and there can only be one, and we were the first. And there can always be one first. You know what I mean?
We're the first. We're the longest reigning. And we are still the tag team champions.
Just setting the ball high,
All three.
Oh, yeah. We got huge balls.
Huge.
I meant to say bar, but I said balls at the same time. So I don't know what kind of Freudian slip that was, but
sorry,
whatever.
We're just swinging and banging, bro. It's all good. But yeah, that was a good night. I mean, the first match against DTA, which is, so there was the little bet that was going that if DTA won against us, Don Holland had to buy merch, and he did. He went about his business and he took care of us, which was really cool. And I give Don Holland a lot of crap, but he's good for wrestling. They need guys like that out there to support us.
He's if he doesn't like us. He's very vocal when it comes to the Midwest and the Michigan area scenes, and he has what he really enjoys. But
thick calluses on his typing fingers, I'll tell you that.
Yeah, I wouldn't say it's mainly the Midwest. I think it's just DTA, but
he'll learn to like us eventually. If not, whatever.
Yeah, you ain't lying.
So we were triumphant over DTA. And that actually spoke volumes to us. That was a great match. I know all the boys, all the Scum crew over at Pro Wrestling Edge, they are all supportive of us. They sponsored us. Dan said the favorite match of the night for him was Midwest Scum versus DTA, so that means a lot to us. You know, and Josh, I always say this on every pod I go to too when I talk about Pro Wrestling Edge because I really appreciate them. Josh, trees do not grow bricks. It's a little inside joke, but he said in an interview that I hit someone so hard it looked like I was hitting a brick tree, and me and Zach looked at each other. We're like, "Yeah, a brick tree." Tapping into Darren McCarty's brand too much there, bud.
Just a little bit, but brick trees. I like it. But those Pro Wrestling Edge boys are really, they do some good stuff. So, like, there's a lot of good. Yeah. That's the great thing about, like, being part of here is, like, everybody is, like, so supportive and so, like, just passionate. No matter what level you do, everybody's very excited. They're hungry, you know, new-ish company. You know, we're coming up, I think, close to now 2 years now. We've done a lot of stuff. We've already announced big things. January, we got Cold-Blooded. We just announced literally today, the day of the recording, that we're going to be teaming back up with ICW No Holds Barred, and we're making our Chicago debut. I don't know what we're naming that show yet, but it's going to be a lot of fun nonetheless.
Hell yeah, that's going to be good. You know, you talked about passion, and that segues into the second match that we had that night. And we were put in there with Fear and Loathing, which is Urban and Schwartzy. And when you talk about passion, man, Schwartzy's the guy who's got passion. That guy stepped into that ring and nearly tried to break my ankle. I mean, he ran into a chair, and I happened to fall on top of him. But, you know, winning's winning.
Hey. I was just trying to kidnap the goose. That's all I was out there trying to do.
There was a goose.
There was. It was a pretty big one. I haven't seen one that big in a while, but.
Man, I stepped into the ring, and it's like standing next to Panama Red with Schwartzy in there. I could barely see through the smoke signals to see a goose.
You aren't lying on that.
I mean, Darren McCarty did sponsor the whole show, and then I remember cleaning up afterwards and seeing the whole downstairs area where everybody was, the locker room area where everybody's changing, and it was like a thick fog throughout the whole place.
That was just from Schwartzy.
Yeah, that had to be. Just him alone.
He's amazing, though. You can't even look at him and get mad. If you're in the ring, you want to slap him because you have to, but respect the Schwartzy.
You know, I'll give Kevin, or wow, can't even say his name. Kenny Urban, that's it, right?
Yeah. The Kenny Urban.
The Kenny Urban. I'll give him credit because when I seen him years ago wrestling, he didn't really, you know, have the passion and the drive to actually wrestle long. It was only in like one or two companies that it was, but like now the last couple of years he's been traveling and busting his ass, and you know he proved just what he's capable of. And honestly, I think him and Swartz are a good match.
Great team.
At the end of the night, they weren't a good enough match for us. So.
Yeah, you know, I kind of want to pat ourselves on the back on that one on the commentary because we noticed a little bit about during their match at Bumps in the Night that Schwartzy and Kenny Urban were kind of almost like two sides of the same coin, and we made a comment there like it's unfortunate that these two are not on the same page because I think it would be incredible to see how they worked out, and lo and behold, the magic of geesery and other items that brought them two together. So it's really cool. They're really fun, and I can't wait for more from them.
Schwartzy takes a lot of people on magic cooler rides, I'll tell you.
It was a hoot to kind of get to, because like we were hanging out with them during the first night of the circus. And like me and my partner Travis, and we were all just like hanging out, and then like we're all seeing the show and all just like shooting the shit and everything, and all of them are just incredible people inside and out. So and Schwartzy has a lot of passion, and I'm so happy and so impressed with his stuff on his live YouTube show now. Done really well, great. Really cool. It's a good format, switches from topic to topic. You know, talks to people. It's done really well. So I'm very happy with all that.
He's very smart. He's very business oriented. He knows how to market himself. He knows how to get himself over. It's very impressive. If you ever sit and just listen to the man, I mean, there's a lot of knowledge there that you can take. So
it's good. And then of course the finals of the tag tournament, the two hardest hitting people, you know, in that tournament, Reed Bentley, John Wayne Murdoch, you know, and unfortunately their little animosity around their upcoming match for the American Deathmatch title kind of may have skewed some things, maybe cost them a W, but they were a heavy favorite in that tournament.
As the human man baby Vin Diesel says, it doesn't matter if you win by an inch or a mile, winning's winning, and I'll take whatever it takes. If they want to screw around and have a bickering argument, then we're just going to hit them with the yuppie killer and call it quits. We'll put the exclamation point on the end of your argument.
Hey, and mind you, let's put this out there in perspective. Going into that match, Logan was obviously hurt, so we kind of dwelled on, what are we going to be able to do? So I mean, we had doors out there. I mean, but that's the reject specialty, man. They're nothing but, weapon users. But I mean, at the end of the day, we were able to come out on top because they decided to bicker. For just two Midwestern guys that were quote unquote thrown together, we clearly know what we're doing. We look for our opportunity, and when we scout it, we're aiming for it.
Yeah, brothers don't shake. Brothers hug.
You're right.
Mm-hmm. And that's what we do.
I agree. I absolutely agree. And I am a fond believer of brothers hug. Tell your brothers you love them, all that happy shit. But in the end of the day, you guys did, you guys kind of debuted as a unit, thanks to, a little bit of interruption with Hoodfoot at Bumps in the Night, and then kind of did some maybe more planning, all of that, and have brand new tag team champions, the first ever, longest reigning, et cetera, in Midwest Scum. And I love the name, and Adam Ball did a fantastic job just to shout him out with your logo and the just the display of everything, even coming out with like the masks and everything. I love it. It's a fun.
Awesome.
Awesome, cool looking, you look like a tag team. You look, you feel, you wrestle like a tag team, which is fantastic.
Appreciate that. Zach is like little brother, it's weird. Like, we're together so much that we've kind of grown this bond where it's inseparable, like when you think Logan, you think Zach, when you think Zach, you think Logan now. And then we just put it together and we just made this beautiful art now. We're just two guys that want to wrestle and really good at what we do. And if you get into the ring with us, we're going to make beautiful art all over your face. You know what I mean? Like, we're just bruisers, man. We're like we want to be like LOD or, Hanson and Brody, we just want to bang and clang and leave you regretting
it. You talk about like having a tag team that is, decorated and actually does things together. Come on, let's be honest. You see the rejects hanging out all the time and, making sure that they have a plan for their show, making sure that they're going to do this and that. No. You think DTA's doing that? No. They're too busy on social media themselves, Twitter fingers, Facebook fingers,
Well, I mean, kind of Don does that. I mean, I know. But that's no shot. I'm just saying, but
yeah, no.
Like Zach, listen, if I need money, I can call Zach. If Zach needs money, he can call me, like if I need, on a heartbeat, I'll drive down to Ohio. Is it down sideways? I'll drive to Ohio,
depending on where you're at. Yes.
Right. Yeah, I wish people could see what just happened. You
my
totally
gum fell right out
my
mouth.
But, we're just there for each other, we just, the short story is the first time we wrestled each other mid-match, I know he remembers this. He hit me, right? And I was like, holy shit. I said out loud, I said, finally, someone that can go. And I clobbered the shit out of him. And then after that, we were just inseparable.
I mean, we went, 2 or 3 times more?
Yeah,
and
4,
it was
I think.
The same outcome every time. I mean, I'm just saying, Big Bro's got the advantage over me. He's beat me every time.
Yeah.
We want to talk about
that. That's okay. We're equals. We're side by side. We wear the masks out because we're equals, We don't have to, it's not to hide who we are. It's because we are the same. The only difference is when we pull the mask off, we're just bringing different tactics, different attacks, things that are going to put you down,
Mm-hmm.
It's that family element. It was brothers in arms, and you talked about DTA and said, do you see DTA all together? Heck, I've seen more matches announced across the independent scene of DTA members facing each other in matches. I'm just like, what is the point of being a faction if you're going to be constantly wrestling each other in most of your matches? it's a little bit odd. And, you know, that friendly competition, I guess, maybe with the rejects and, you know, and who knows, you see all these tag teams, that are either, you know, in a unit and then split off, or they become a unit and then they either develop and flourish, or they end up going their separate ways due to whatever else to see. So it's nice to see Midwest Scum, the in and out of the ring, this brotherhood between you two. And then at the end of the show, a little slight spoiler if you haven't watched it yet, you guys, and we've already announced it a little bit, you guys are going to be taking on a massive team. And I say massive in size, stature, you know, strength advantage, but you're going to be taking on Iron Beast in January for the tag titles.
Absolutely.
Yeah. I mean, what better way, in my opinion, to put our first title defense up against two big monsters? You know, the best part in any company or any business in the world is you want to aim for the top. And to aim for the top, you got to take down the big guys that are already up there.
Yeah.
So what better way to face KTB and Shane Mercer?
King of the Hill match, you know what I mean? You got to climb to the top and you got to push each other off and you got to stand strong. You got to duck her shoulder and just drive through them. You know, Mercer's nuts. I saw what he did with Kyle.
Yeah,
Holy
I was just going to say, I'm afraid that one of you are going to be thrown around like a lawn dart if he did that to Kyle.
That man hates bleachers. You know, this guy's, you know, they're both impressive. They both can fly off the top rope. It's like ridiculous.
Dude, for the mass that freaking Mercer has, that dude is unbelievable in that ring. And for the build that KTB has, he's unbelievable. I faced him before one-on-one, and it was no joke.
I think, though, the difference is, like, Zach and I, we don't mind the punishment. We'll use each other as a weapon if we have to, you know? We're willing to just do anything to win. I mean, we're going to take a piece of you home with us every night. And our titles.
Get ready for that. It's going to be on in January. It's going to be on Saturday, January 29th in our home away from home and maybe Michigan. More info, you can find tickets now at ruthlesspro.com. If you want to learn a little bit more about Zach Thomas, of course, we told you to go check out his episode, and of course his development now. But Dread King Logan, I want to dive a little bit into your history of wrestling. Tell me a little bit about how you decided to enter this wild, weird world, as we like to call in professional wrestling.
That's kind of like a loaded question, you know. I feel like I came out of the womb drop kicking the doctor. I don't know. I just, you know, like when you see something and it just draws you to it and you don't really know why, but it just has a calling. It's like the first time you fall in love. You just never forget that. My earliest memory of wrestling is, it was, I can't remember the Royal Rumble, but it was when Hogan helped pull Sid out with Flair, and Flair ended up winning, and he hid the entire Rumble in the corners and stuff like that. Like, that was so cool. And I look back and I could not remember, like, in my head, I'm like, how did Hogan allow that? How could he do that? It was such like I've never really liked Hogan because of that moment, because he kind of did a douche move and pulled Sid out and let Flair win, which is like a total bad guy move. So that's my earliest memory. I know I'm rambling a lot. I'm never like straight on topic. I've been hit too many times with things.
That's fine.
But like, that's my earliest memory. And then from that point on, I remember being in biology class with my friend Scotty Primo, and we don't know anything on the periodic table, but I can show you an arm wringer. I can show you a headlock. I can show you a Hurricane Rana. I had a periodic table of wrestling moves. That's all we did. I mean, school for me was wrestling practice at some of the classes, but I couldn't help it. It's just when you know you're born to do something and you're told your whole life you shouldn't do it, you want it even more.
I like that a lot when, you know, a lot of people kind of give you like the eyebrow, and not the Rock eyebrow, but like just the eyebrow, like wrestling. Like, why would you want to do that?
Yeah. It's a niche culture, man. Like, people are worried. So many people are worried about you getting hurt, but you can do that. Like, you get hurt walking down the street. You know what I mean? I put myself in situations that I know I can handle. And that's why I have Zach to get my back now too. So when we walk into that ring, we're ready for anything. But wrestling to me will always be my first and true love besides my wife and kids. Wrestling it's what I'm here to do.
I mean, I've fallen. You have no idea how many times I've fallen walking up the stairs. So like,
yeah, that's a tough one.
It's happened a lot.
You need knee pads, bro.
I need a lot of things.
Bubble wrap.
Knee pads might be one of them, but I enjoy that a lot. And one also thing that if anybody follows you on social media is your weight progress throughout everything.
Oh, yeah.
And you've been very open about like how your weight was and how you looked and everything, and you've made humongous strides to be at where you're at now. I believe you hit your goal, maybe? I think you said like maybe a few days ago you were like a pound off or something.
Yeah, but then it went back. I was feeling under the weather, and listen, the thing about weightlifting and the goal is it's like wrestling. You're never satisfied and you never reach your goal, but you keep climbing up that mountain. You keep you're going to fall, you're going to stumble, but you just got to keep persevering. Nothing is worth having if you don't fight for it and you earn it. Nobody deserves anything in this life. For people to tell people, hey, you deserve this, it's insulting to me because that means you didn't watch me earn it. You didn't watch me do that walk or that journey. I feel the pain from it every day. Wrestling, I struggle when I go upstairs and, like I said, I had some popcorn earlier and right now in my head, I'm living in that regret because I know that's going to set me back further. It's a constant struggle in life. Life is not easy. Anything that you want, you got to fight for. It's literally, you have to fight for it. It might not be physically, but it might be a mental fight every day. So yeah, the weight transformation thing, it's cool because I earned that. I was 285 pounds and I have spent the last 5 years honing my body into about a 205-pound guy, and 199 is where I'm going because I haven't been that in I don't know how long. It's just it's a lot, but I'm proud.
It's very impressive, and it's like a thick, muscular, like even when I see you, it's like almost like a walking brick wall when I see you because you're just so like cut, dense.
Have you seen Zach? But not in like the mental. I'm witty as shit, okay. But like, have you seen
smart?
Zach?
I swear to God.
Have you seen Zach since he started coming over?
It's funny you say I was going to, because I see him when Zach first started, when I first jumped on, and I see him now, and he's slimmed up, trimmed up, looking little tight as I flex the traps,
Hey, that's great, man.
I mean, in all honesty, yeah, I'm the one that was dedicated and I'm the one that was determined to make that change, right? But I mean, if it wasn't for Logan and Ace Evans, for that matter,
Ace,
I wouldn't be able to meet that goal because they're the ones that give me the actual motivation and encouragement and inspiration, I should say, because, Logan met his goal. Ace Evans met a goal that he wanted to meet a while ago. Like, they lost a ton of weight, and, why not be on the journey together? All three of us.
Mm-hmm.
This dude hit 199 before all of us.
I did.
Smoked it. He smoked it. I was like, God damn it.
Yeah.
It's all right, though.
Ripping fasting, it sucks, but I did it.
Yeah, but that's what I'm talking about right there. Is that's how can you stop us when you have such a desire? Like, if you can set your mindset to overachieve, to accomplish and to conquer these things that you set before us, these small goals, when you reach the big goal, you're already trained for it. You're ready to go. And Zach's a perfect example of that. He set a goal and he chased it. And now we as a tag team with our minds together. And, then he talked about Ace Evans. That's one of our go-tos, one of our best friends, man. That dude is one of the hardest working guys. When you get your t-shirts made by him, he starts at like 3 a.m. every day, and he doesn't stop until about now, which is like, what, 7:30 right now?
Around there, yeah.
Stop. That guy visits more rings, more shows, more arenas than anybody, and he needs to be booked more for his hard work. He's unstoppable. He looks freaking fire right now.
Heck yeah, he does. I mean,
you've been booted by him?
No, thank God.
Holy crap, man.
You?
Oh, he booted me. Oh, yeah, we wrestled a couple times. He beat me yet either, though.
Hey, that's good.
It's all right. He's still the man. You're the man. We're the men. For life. We just like to have fun, man. This is a different Dread King. You know, when Dread King's by himself, it's scary. He's dark. He's mean. That's a real thing too. You know, people think it's like, oh, he's really good at playing the character. That ain't no character. You can ask Zach. Like when the King comes out, I can't control it. But when I'm with Zach, it vanillas it up. It levels me out. You know,
Yep.
it lets me be like a good Logan Dread King mix. When the Dread King's out, though, it's different, man. Like I'm not me in that ring, and that scares me sometimes. But
we've seen a little bit of that range from some of the past work, you know, whether it was solo or with previous teams, is that dangerous sense and dangerous, you know, violent, uncontrollable level. But there's another side to everybody. We're all just giant onions in a sense. We're all about layers. That's a Shrek reference for all you millennials out there. But we're all different sides of us, but it all completes us for who we are.
Oh yeah, I agree with you 100%. Everybody, you know, let's go back to the mask reference. Everybody wears a mask in everyday life. You never really truly know who your neighbor is, how many bodies are in their backyard. That's scary, you know? But we are all, like I've said before, man, I'm a huge Fight Club fan. And we are all the dying compost of the entire world, you know, just the biggest, disgusting compost heap. That's all Earth is. We're all going to go to the same place in the end, right? In the dirt, back to the universe. So why don't we all just take that ride together, you know?
Mm-hmm. Speaking of the universe, I wanted to touch upon this because we talked a little bit about this, just on social media, everything. Because I mean, I'm a comic book fan, but I also love the idea of like the multiverse and these like other worlds and these other dimensions or other people of other us. Of every decision that you've done the opposite with. So if you turned right, there's an alternate world that you've turned left, and then so forth and so forth. And I love the idea of like the multiverse, not only just, you know, in the comic book realm, but like I kind of almost believe in that level of like there is another world. There are other worlds, obviously. You know, we see science, we talk about it and everything, but I wanted to get your 2 cents on like what do you believe? What do you think of like of some of that stuff?
You started it now.
Zach knows. Zach knows.
Started it now.
Let's go. Let's get weird. Okay. Let's go.
All right. So listen, I introduced Zach to this, and I don't know where he stands with it yet because a lot of things that happen we call glitches. And I believe in simulation theory. And the theory that I believe in is that one society created a simulation, and that simulation ran. And it got to the point where it got so advanced it created another one. And then it just keeps going on like a tumble effect until one day it might not keep creating. So it's almost like the same idea of you with the different dimensions. Mine is it's a simulation of a simulation of a simulation, and you might never know if you're actually ever in. But then there's things that happen to us, like Zach, you got some examples of the glitches, man? Like I got the Alanis Morissette one.
So literally after a show the one night where we had the Speedway to get one of those big Mountain Dew like frozen slushies or whatever.
Yeah, the chick that
dude, I'm trying to get one. I'm the first one over there out of us. And this lady's just there. She keeps grabbing a cup and she fills it up and starts drinking it. Then she walks down to the one side that I'm by, then back, then gets some more, drinks it. Then she's making a huge mess everywhere. So
then finally, she stopped. Oh, yeah. Keep going.
So finally, she's away from me. All right. And eventually, I think you got yours, and we ended up going by the donut.
Remember, she bent over in front of me and got stuck?
Oh, yeah.
And she was glitching, just fucking moving.
Dude,
just wouldn't move. And I'm like,
moving up against him to the point where like he was right up against the freaking chips, and she just kept going. So he had to literally
broken NPC.
Dude, he had to literally slide back as tight as he could and try to shimmy out of her way, dude. And then like we're going up to pay, and I'm looking at the donuts. This lady literally comes up right in front of me, goes in there, grabs the donuts, moves them around, this, that, and the other. And then I'm like, okay, I don't want the donuts. I go up to pay. Now this lady, I turn around, she's right up in my face.
Same lady,
like, right up in my face.
A fucking side quest, man.
Like
okay.
I'm paying, by the way, too. She would not. It's like she was right up on me while I'm paying. It's like, what's going on here, man?
Right.
It's weird.
But we get weird glitches. Like okay, so like, when's the last time you heard of Alanis Morissette? So I'm listening to the radio, and Alanis Morissette was brought up, right? So then I turn a podcast on. No less sooner than like 10 minutes after, and they're talking about Alanis Morissette again. And I start getting these weird glitches, like when you pay for things and you get like 333 or 666 as like a straight number, and then you go somewhere else and you get the straight number again, or you see certain words that you don't usually see and then they reappear. Like, Zach, you and I were driving and there was that weird black cloud that was just hovering randomly.
Oh yeah,
like that was weird. We should write these down.
Oh, for sure. We were just hanging out the one time, and all of a sudden we're talking about simulation theory, and like as we're talking about it, we go on Facebook, and who's on there talking about it? Brutus Atwell randomly brings it up on Facebook.
Yeah, like literally within 5 seconds after. Like all these things, like whenever Zach and I talk about something or we see something, a lot of the times it rehashes. Like Riley Rose, he's one of our homies.
Mm-hmm.
He started noticing these things too. Like he would do something and that would happen. I don't know. Peapod, get on this. What do you think?
You know what? That has happened a lot, and I see it a lot with my wife. And it goes back to reading comics. The writer Grant Morrison talks when he started developing more of his like multiverse stories and everything. He's talks about that there's different worlds, and the different worlds in the multiverse vibrate on different frequencies, much like a song. So if you want to travel throughout the multiverse and everything, you have to play different frequencies of songs. So that a lot of those situations happen with my wife, who excuse me, will think of something or talk about something, and then all of a sudden everybody around her will start doing it, like a lot more, or she started doing it or didn't even mention it, thought about it, got some materials to start on a project, and then everybody around her, social media, the big time influencers, friends, family, will like it, and it happens. It literally happened today. So I always tell her, it's like, you just vibrate to the level of the universe, to
Vibes.
the frequency of the
universe.
universe.
Vibrations too.
Mm-hmm.
So we left an IWR show one night, and Zach goes, "What's that on your arm?" And I was inside, and I looked down my arm, and there was a whole frog that was like a 2-inch frog sitting on my arm, and it jumped off on the floor, and we got rid of it. Month goes by, we go back to the same venue. We're driving home. Frog comes jumping across my car on the way home. Like frogs, like weird shit like that, dude. It doesn't make sense. Like, why would a frog be on my arm inside this clean ass venue? It made no sense. That's the weird stuff that happens to me. And I feel like maybe I'm a source for it. And Zach entered into my bubble, and then Riley, and now it's like a virus that's spreading, and they're starting to realize too, because once the human mind is open, you can't close it.
Right.
True.
When you're aware,
It's when you're aware, and you're more than like, you understand how you affect what comes and goes throughout you.
Oh yeah.
That's like a really big thing that I've been dealing with. I mean, some could call it, witchcraft. Some can talk about like just being in tune with your feelings and emotions or whatever. But it's just that idea of like, you put out whatever you put in the universe, and it comes back to you.
Synergy.
Yes. So it could be, some people view that as like religious. Some people view that as like witchcraft. Some people just view it as like, just karma, whatever you want to label it as. At the end of the day, it's whatever you put into things and whatever you give power to things, you will get that back in triplicate.
I believe in that 100%. I think if you put good in, my good friend Shogun Jackson Stone taught me about synergy. You put the good out, you get the good back. You put negative out, you get crapped on. And I don't want to have a rag on my face, wipe the crap off all the time. So good energy is awesome, you know.
So, Iron Beast coming up. We got Cold Blooded.
Yep.
We got the February show at with ICW No Holds Barred, and we all know how they party. We have no idea what's going to be coming up, and some special people coming in for the first time with us. So we're very excited about all of that. But like, who are you looking at right now? Like tag teams, individuals, who do you want to tangle with? Who do you think that would be a good competition for Midwest Scum? Like, what's some of the names, whether it's with us, maybe the Midwest scene, maybe across the independent scene, or just hell, anybody from the big two or whatever, who is Midwest Scum want to get entangled with?
I got a big one, but then I also have a singles guy I want, but I got a big match that I want for Zach and I. But it's Zach, do you want to shoot it up yours first, or do you want me to?
You go ahead.
I would love for us to get the Ascension, Connor and Victor.
Ooh.
I would. I got a lot of respect for Connor. That guy's taught me a lot, and I've wrestled him several times now, and I look up to that guy a lot. And I want to get in that ring and I want to tangle with him again, and I want his tag partner because I know. If you don't know this, I asked Connor if we could use the Fall of Man as our finish, out of respect. And he said, absolutely. So we designed to call it the Yuppie Killer because, well, most people are stuck up and dumb. So we might as well put them out of their misery. But so yeah, the Ascension would definitely be the match that I would love.
It's hard, but I'm going to go on this one because I've had a long history and Logan's had a little bit of history with one of them, but the Koger brothers, both Atticus and
Otis. Oh, that's sweet. That's bang, bang, bang. That was sweet.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like Otis. I like punching Otis.
Hey, I hit a suicide dive on him once at RPW and may or may not knocked him out. I'm just that good, guys.
Seeing those two together, especially the history with them and with Crimson and Gory at Inked in Blood during this deathmatch circus was something very interesting. And I knew a little bit about the history, but I didn't know how deep and how far back their history in the Midwest scene and just the independent scene in general between the Otis brothers, the Koger brothers, and Crimson and Gory.
Yeah. Another one that I could think off the top of my head because they seem to be getting a little buzz lately. The main event, Gannon Jones Jr. and Duke Davis. Yeah, they're out of PA. They're very, very talented. They are gigantic.
Oh, I've seen them on the Expect the Unexpected show. They took on SAT.
Yep.
I want Tyrant. Have you seen Tyrant?
No, I've not seen Tyrant.
Trying to remember their names. Damn it. It's that those two big jack dudes I posted up on Instagram. I feel terrible not being able to say their names. Raven. Remember Zach? I showed you. He's like 290 pounds of just pure beat your ass.
I mean, yeah.
I'll have to show. But if I could get my singles match, though, I want another stab at Justin Kyle.
Ooh.
I love Justin Kyle. I'm gonna tell you right now, Justin Kyle, he is the real deal, and I want him. You know where I'd really like him is in the pit if they would allow me to. I'm not calling my shot, but I'm just saying that would be a place I would love to tangle with him.
There's two Justin Kyles that I've seen, and he's already a dominant force here in RPW, but Pit Justin Kyle is a whole other literal animal of Justin Kyle. The super fight beast Justin Kyle when he's in the pit or in the chains it's incredible. I mean, he's coming up in January for ICW No Holds Barred in like no fucking rules match or whatever they want to call it. Like he's taking on Crew, which Crew's a big motherfucker. So,
hell yeah, he is.
like, and like a big, like some of our guys are big, and then I see Crew, and I'm like, fuck, if he's gonna be in Chicago, I just want to stand like right next to him just to see it, like, just like look
Listen,
up at how tall he is. Like, Jesus.
you can't be scared of the shadow because the shadow will eventually fades.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you might be big, but when you're laying on your back, you don't cast a very big shadow. So it doesn't matter.
I like that. I like that a lot. But at the time being, I am not a professional wrestler. I'm just a loud bald man who calls himself a vegetable. So like that's what I'm pretty good at. I'm a decent talker. They let me have a microphone in front of me. I'll run with that for the time being.
Hey, you rock your product, man. You're awesome.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Absolutely.
You guys are great. I want to say one thing though. I know in some other places you've done some stuff with Shane Douglas, which is very, very interesting.
IWR right there.
Yeah. Was there any like? Have you learned anything from Shane? Has he like dropped any kind of like knowledge or even just like a little nugget of just like, just one of those moments?
The backstory is Shane's one of my heroes. Like Shane, watching him wrestle is there's little ambiances that he can do in that ring that other people just don't understand. You know, it's I've wrestled him and I beat him with the belly to belly. That's to me is the coup de grace of all moves. It's simple, it's effective, it puts people down. I call mine the King's Way. Shane is a plethora of knowledge, the way to move in the ring, how to get a story over, how to, you know, make everybody look good and yet still beat the hell out of someone and make it look even better. The guy he's a controversial character. He's the loudest mouth in the room when it comes to a promo, and he will beat your ass just for fun, for shits and gigs. And he saw something in me, and I'm proud to call myself one of the triple threat with him. And if you didn't know that, Wikipedia, baby, me and Mitch Hewitt are part of the triple threat with Shane Douglas. That's an honor and a privilege, to be honest. Shane is incredible. Absolutely incredible.
That's rad. I think he's going to be in an upcoming. I mean, he's shoot a shot at the ETU show.
He's in the chains, baby.
He wants to take on Danny in the chains.
Hell yeah.
You know, seeing Danny live was nuts, and like to be fair, like, and I say nuts because I just recently kind of got back into the independent world. I mean, a lot of my stuff, if you listen back to our Hoodfoot episode, me and Hoodfoot talked a little bit about like our discovery of love of like the independent scene. And it was right around the mid 2000s Ring of Honor CZW war. And then like Chikara and all of those, like that's where I like got my start, and then got really big into wrestling all types, and then I fell out of it because of a close personal friend of mine passed away. And it was just about a few years ago that I just got back like heavy into this, and then the opportunity to join up here with RPW and adding my 2 cents into things has been a fun experience. So it's super cool to see like some of these new people and some of these worlds, and like GCW, you know, rising tides, you know, ICW doing fantastic stuff with what they do, you know, the world of deathmatch wrestling becoming like almost a forefront, becoming national. Like you see light tubes in an AEW ring, which is crazy to me. Right. Flaming table spots, shit like that. Like that's independent backyard level shit.
Like, well, that's the world becoming more open-minded.
Yeah, exactly. And that's,
you know,
beautiful.
That's the new acceptance. It's beautiful. Like you said, it's the new acceptance. Like for me growing up, ECW was God. Like if you watch how I wrestle, I would have fit in the ECW like a glove, man. Zach would have been beautiful there. It's like, that's because RPW, they're really good at giving you a mixture of what you want. Not if you don't like a death match, well, you didn't pay a shit ton of money. You're gonna, you know, you paid just enough money to go and have a great night, even if you enjoyed 2 of the matches. Mm-hmm. It's a fantastic show. All of them are all around are amazing. Like RPW is something special though. It's Zach calls himself the gatekeeper, and I call it home. You know, it's RPW has a different feel. It's just every show is something different. It's always just special.
It's been a hell of a ride so far, and even introducing my wife, who's not the biggest wrestling fan, but she's gone to live events as well, and I'm slowly trying to get her into like the world of deathmatch, or at least some of the stuff that's going on. She didn't do much for last show, even though she was there, but she was handling the concessions, which I'm glad that everybody enjoyed those. So, hopefully I can have her sneak up and see at least a match, something involving a tube or glass or something getting cut up, some kind of fun. But all together, RPW has something very incredible, and every single person that has crossed the threshold and jumped in our world are loved, are respected, and they're grateful for their time with us. And it's so much fun, and we can't wait for more, because 2022 is already going to be a huge start.
Well, RPW is it's given a lot of people opportunity. It's really brought people up onto the stage that they never thought they could get to. It's the gateway drug. You know what I'm saying? Like, you watch an RPW show and you're hooked. You got to go and find these other guys. So you guys are doing what you have to do, and it's like I said, man, nothing but respect.
Mm-hmm. I enjoy it. I enjoy our time. I'm very excited for everything coming up. Of course, like I said, towards the end of January, we have our Cold-Blooded, our very first event of 2022. That's happening January 29th. That is a Saturday. Tickets are on sale right now. $20 general admission, $25 front row. Get them fast. Happening in maybe Michigan. RuthlessPro.com has more info. Go check that out. If we want to get in touch with the members of Midwest Scum, how do we do so?
Facebook at the Dread King Logan, Instagram at the Dread King Logan, Twitter is at the Dread King Logan. I believe I have a TikTok at the Dread King Logan, and most of the shit, YouTube, is at the Dread King Logan. So, it's all at the Dread King Logan.
Hey, and this is to plug both of us, but if you go to brainbusters.com or brainbustertees.com, you can either search for the Dread King Logan, or you can search for Zach Thomas. We have some merch up there to help us out. But to find me on Facebook, it's just Zach Thomas. Instagram, it's Zach_Thomas21. And then Twitter is Zach_Thomas_21. Why? It wouldn't let me put just 21. Okay.
Naming shit is hard, guys. Come on.
Yeah.
And also, you could pick up some of the scumbags, which I thought that was a very clever name at upcoming shows with the new shirts, stickers, and whatever else is fun in those bags.
So I'm not going to give away everything that's in it, but I mean, it's stuff that we had that either didn't sell or we want to get rid of to help us get new stuff type of deal, such as like stickers, maybe a couple magnets here and there. Other things,
candy and stuff for kids, there's things in there just to have a scummy party,
Yeah.
We'll be having ski masks too. Well, our thing is, man, if you want to come out, throw on your mask, stand up with us, be part of the party, man. Show that you're with us, but we're all the same. Be part of the Project Scumbag, part of the movement.
I like it. Of course, RuthlessPro.com. Find us there. All of our links to upcoming shows, for our stuff on IWTV, some of our merch on Deathmatch Worldwide, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok. All of those places is at one fun place, RuthlessPro.com. Of course, also on this podcast that you're listening to right now. Subscribe, give us a review, and support us here with Ruthless Pro Wrestling. Anything else you guys want to add?
We're just looking forward to keeping these titles as long as we can.
It's grind time, baby.
Grind time. A little bit of dread, a little bit of grind.